Howdy folks, Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors. New videos every Saturday, so if you don't want to miss out on your Tex Grebner Outdoors Saturday morning cartoon awesomeness, make sure to click subscribe and check my channel every Saturday for new videos. That way you can stay posted on my Illinois archery season 2016.
When all the world has gone to sleep, the hunters to the forest creep. From out the wildwood comes the call, the hunt is life, the hunt is all. An ancient forest beckons me to run sky-clad amongst the trees. My lusty spirit cannot wait the gentle deer to penetrate. Cernunnos, lord of beasts, he grunts, come join us for the wild hunt. In the Celtic zodiac, my birthstone is Cernunnos, the stag-faced savage god of the wild and of the hunt. And so that poem has a very special significance for me in my personal medicine and mythos. And in the darkness, anything is possible before dawn, where every swaying weed, as the sky begins to turn gray, creates a deer in the phantasmagoria in your imagination, in your mind's eye. Everything is perfect before the sun, before cruel reality. The ancient dance of predator and prey. Every day of hunting is exactly the same, but every day of hunting is just a little bit different. I had hung this stand by the light of an almost full moon only hours before. Leave me a note in the comments if you think that it is pretty badass that I can hang a stand by moonlight alone when I have forgotten my flashlight in my Jeep. Sitting, watching, waiting, listening. This stand was hung right over where the buck had been earlier in my season. I have come to realize over my years of deer hunting, if you hear it, it is a squirrel. If you do not hear it, it is a deer. They possess stealth that we could only dream of. Majesty, grace, the majestic, elusive whitetail. It was a humid October morning, unseasonably warm, as I sat, watching, waiting, listening, hoping, praying, ruminating and reflecting on my decision to try and get within 5 yards of that buck. Some guys brag how far they can kill with a bow. But I had envisioned on my stalk the triumphant glory of practically touching the deer before I was detected. And with plenty of time to ruminate on this fact, I sat. The wind very poor, but yet I was coated down with Evercalm. I have honestly never had much luck on the morning hunts. I think that the morning hunt is exciting because walking in the darkness, anything is possible before dawn. But yet, my hunt was coming to a close as the harvest season was in full swing, and I would soon be pulled away from my wild solitude, playing a life and death game of chess with the skills of checkers. And because I live in reality, I've got to go do other shit. And so we again enter into the visceral mystery that is the ancient sacrament of the hunt. A hawk circled overhead, catching a snake that was sunning itself on the grass. Geese flew overhead as well, headed south, and other birds flitted through the leaves around me. One thing that I am absolutely atrocious at is sitting still. It's like a puppy waiting for a treat. I want to kill shit with sticks. I'm like a dog like that. It's all about the sticks. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am not very patient. I am not good at all at sitting still. Combine a dog-like sense of energy with attention deficit, and it is an exercise of pure will to attempt to sit still. It was a hot afternoon. I didn't expect a whole lot of movement, but the ambush was absolutely perfect as the magic hour drew nearer and nearer. The leaves still on the trees would shield me. I hoped that a deer would pass along the trail to my right side, into the opening, and give me a distracted broadside shot at little more than 5 yards. Everything was absolutely perfect. I had seen that buck take the very same trail, which is why I had put up this stand by moonlight. The magic hour was rapidly approaching. The sun was sinking. Everything was so perfect. I was coated down with Evercalm as again, but yet the wind was not very good. I felt like I was somewhat overhunting this hillside, but yet, hopefully, if the deer had changed their pattern, I would have driven them into my other property across the field. I heard rustling behind me, but of course, if you can hear it, it's a squirrel. The magic hour was upon me. The temperature slowly began to drop little by little out of the 80s. If something was going to happen, I knew that it was going to happen soon. And all hunters have this dilemma of the magic hour. We want a deer to show up, but we also want to make sure that we have enough light to track by. Sitting, watching, waiting, listening. Every day of hunting is exactly the same, but every day of hunting is just a little bit different. The wind-tossed weeds on the hillside in the shadows as they lengthened caused my heart to race. Every rustle of a corn leaf made me think that it was the buck back again. But yet, as the night came down to wrap the dark embrace around my little patch of woods, I realized it was going to be yet another empty hunt.
And the slow descent into madness continues. You know it's well and truly deer season when you go to wipe your nose with your sleeve and it's full of burdock and briar. That really hurts. Nothing tonight. Season's still young. A little too warm, I think. But deer are wild and free, majestic creatures. And I may just get another chance at that buck. This is extremely foolish. But I'm going to see how close I can walk up on this doe. Nothing like getting into the woods late. Wind is good. Either way, I gotta get to my stand. That was pretty darn close.
I knew that there would be action tonight. Sadly, I did bump that doe on my way in, but there was a cold chill in the air and a hint of wet. And I watched no sooner did I get into my stand. 3 does making their way down the trail past my stand on the opposite side of the cornfield. I had a good feeling. One, because I knew that I had placed my stand in a good position, but also that there might be more. I had in fact bumped the doe earlier, but she had not blown when she spooked. Sitting, watching, waiting, listening, I peered over my shoulder, and there she was. She came out of an opening in the trees where she had disappeared into, and she was slowly feeding along the end rows. Watching, hoping, praying, willing the doe to continue down the fence row, but being vigilant of my other directions. I sat, hoping that if I did not pay attention to her, that she would simply walk down the fence row toward my stand. And she got even closer and even closer. Luckily, branches obscured me from her view as she fed her way down the end row, just out of sight of the camera. Everything was so absolutely perfect as she neared the kill zone, where I would have no trouble in putting an arrow through her kill zone. Watching, waiting, flinching at every rustle of squirrel in the leaves, until, finally, she simply turned around and walked back into her bed, frustrating me after an hour of waiting in the chill at attention.
Well, that was an exciting shiver fest. As you can see, the cornfield got picked, and the deer were absolutely everywhere. The wind was perfect. I'll fix her. Got a ground set here where she was coming in and out of. And I got a camera mount set. So I'll fix her.
Living in real life rather than in Realtree land, where sex isn't like pornography and hunting isn't like the TV shows, I got to the field much later than I wanted to, and I walked up on another doe feeding out in the corn shucks. The ambush tonight was absolutely perfect. It was a calm and chilly early fall evening. The magic hour was approaching, and everything in this ambush was absolutely perfect. I had seen deer coming down off of their beds on the hillside, funneled down along the fence row directly in front of me, to pass these 3 twisted trees countless occasions. Last night I had seen 3 does take this very route. The ambush was absolutely perfect, and even if deer came from behind me, I would still be able to get a shot, because another fence row would funnel them past me so that I could actually get my bow drawn. You have to see it in your head and have an idea of what you want it to look like so that you can set it up that way. Hunting on film has all the problems of hunting combined with all the problems of wildlife photography, combined with the need for an accurate shot on film, no less. The squirrels were crunching in the dry grass, causing my nerves to twitch. The magic hour was upon me, and I hoped that deer would be coming off of their beds at the top of the hill and funneling past me, offering me a beautiful broadside shot. But the ancient dance of predator and prey cannot be cheated. Every encounter is a gift from God, And in this case, I was a day behind as the darkness came down. Everything had been so absolutely perfect. But yet every day of hunting is exactly the same. But every day of hunting is just a little bit different.
Perfect setup, but they didn't come down the hill into the field tonight. I don't know what else I can tell you. You can't cheat the mountain. But season's still relatively young. Not gonna bullshit you. I didn't see shit this morning. Keeping in mind, this is a week ahead of where you're actually seeing, but it was the first frost of the year, so that's always good news. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this week's edition of Illinois Archery Season 2016. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please check out my friends over at SOETacticalgear.com. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. And thanks for watching Texas Grebner Outdoors.